right, guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of the Hammer and Chisel Performance Podcast. I'm your host, John Heck. As always, just want to open up with a quick shout out to the sponsors of the podcast, Troponin Supplements. They got me decked out in the Troponin Tee hoodie. It's a little bit of a cold front here in North Carolina, so normally you guys see me in that cutoff bodybuilding tee, but we're dressing warm right now. And then, of course, before every episode, taking a dose of my ATP, my favorite product of theirs, 300 milligrams of caffeine and a powerful nootropic. Just gives me a big surge in energy, mood, focus, a little bit of memory enhancement, so I can dive into a good conversation with guests on the podcast like I have on today. So guys, check out the Troponin Supplements website. Use code HECK for a discount on all their products. So anyway, without further ado, getting into this episode. So I've released a couple episodes here from guests that I would consider kind of a core group of the golden age of the fitness industry YouTube world. So you guys have heard from Joey Zatmary, you've heard from Brian Alsrew, and arguably at the center of this whole group is the guy I have on today. So many of you know him, have probably subscribed to his YouTube channel for many years. If you're one of my strongman followers, you definitely know this guy, Alan Thrall. Welcome to the podcast, man.
Thanks for having me on, man. Thank you for the intro. That's very nice of you. It's cool to be considered one of the core YouTubers. That's cool to think back on.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. And, you know, like I was talking about this with Brian on the podcast, when it comes to your favorite YouTubers or just YouTubers that you watch a lot, it's almost like, you know, your favorite character on a TV show. Like, because you consume YouTube in long form, you spend hours watching videos, and I watched tons and tons of your videos back in, you know, that kind of 2013 to 2018 era. And like some timeless videos. I mean, just the other day, I just went back and I watched, it was one of your like, you know, bulking videos or just like a bulking diet for hard gainers videos. And I think you put that out, I don't know, 8 years ago or something like that. But they're just timeless classics to me.
That's pretty awesome that someone with your resume, you've coached like NFL athletes. Yeah, you've been on the, as a trainer for NFL athletes. You're coaching strongmen now, nutrition and all that. To hear that you watch those videos is cool. It's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, you know, watching guys like you and Brian Alsrew, like you guys were kind of some of the dudes that I was really tuning into for my own educational purposes as I was getting into strongman. I mean, honest to God, I still reference this video for technique coaching. It was, I can't remember the guy you had on. He was a throws coach, but it was a video dedicated to weight over bar. Exactly. Yep. It was a video talking about technique for throw and weight over bar. And I pin that video. I watch it religiously before I do my throwing sessions. I'd pull that thing up. Nice. And it would, you know, just videos like how to, you know, axle continental clean, stuff like that. Like you and Brian, you guys were my dudes as far as really kind of helping me get into the sport a little bit. Because I mean, when it comes to strongman, you don't necessarily always have access to good coaching or someone to teach that to you. So a lot of people, I'm sure, have taught themselves through, you know, using people like you on YouTube.
Yeah, that's cool. That feels good to hear. You know, not just look at videos as, you know, acquiring views, but to actually hear from people that it was helpful is cool.
Yeah, for sure. Well, real quick, I'm gonna throw a Zyn in here. Are you a nicotine guy?
No, dude, I'm pretty straight edge. I'm not actually, but and I don't even really drink caffeine.
Yeah.
So no.
Well, I'm coming off the tail end of a hard diet phase, so my hunger is still high, fatigue is high, so I'm kind of riding a wave of nicotine and caffeine here.
Yeah, dude, I imagine. I sleep pretty good at night, and I'm not cutting weight. I eat enough, so I don't need anything like that. So I'm okay without caffeine. I can manage it.
Are you still doing you still eating like you used to? You still following along with your
not like I used to. I would just be eating more like maintenance now.
I gotcha.
Pretty much for health and just to fuel my day and my sessions. I don't like being super hungry, but I also now try not to get uncomfortably full like I used to. So
yeah, for sure. Well, Alan, if you don't mind, would you just give a quick bio, background, resume to my audience who's unfamiliar with you?
Yeah, my name is Alan Thrall, and I own a gym in Sacramento, California. It's called Untamed Strength. It's a strongman and powerlifting gym, but it's primarily just a general population strength training gym. I opened that in 2013, so this year will be 12 years. And before that, I was in the Marine Corps, And then before that, getting into lifting and sports. When I was young, I played baseball and soccer and all those kind of things, but it didn't really latch onto it. Didn't enjoy it that much. I just kind of did it because the neighborhood kids did it. And I think that, just because I played last year, I was going to play this year and so on. But football was the one thing that I really latched onto. And then with football came lifting weights. And that's where my passion for lifting weights came from. So that would be kind of working my way backwards. And I've done competitively, not at any high levels. I've been to nationals, but that's, about as high as I've gone. I've done strongman. I've done powerlifting. I've done some Olympic weightlifting. Even done like a one-off Highland Games thing. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So, and when did you start with your YouTube career?
YouTube would have been right when I opened the gym. So I had a YouTube channel when I was in the Marine Corps, and I would just post just a random training clip without any context or anything. I would just kind of use it as an index to just put my videos up. And then I did have like a Facebook and even a MySpace. You could link a video, a YouTube video, and that's kind of how you posted your lifting videos. And so that was my channel originally. Once I opened the gym in 2013, I had a camcorder, and I went to Best Buy, and I just looked for like a video editing CD-ROM thing that I downloaded. Very basic stuff. And then I was like, I'm going to start making videos for the gym. So a lot of the first videos there were a couple training videos where I actually talked over it. There was just B-roll of me training. I talked about it. Yeah. But it was mainly used for advertisement for the gym. So I would record the members doing a workout in our group workouts that we do. I'd chop it together, put some music on it, and I'd put it on YouTube, sort of hoping that maybe someone would see this and want to join the gym membership, or, want to come and join the gym. But the likelihood of that happening is low if you're putting it on the internet, right? Hoping that someone nearby within proximity of the gym is going to see that on this no-name YouTube channel and then come sign up for a membership, wasn't going to happen. And eventually, the reason for the instructional videos that I started making, I ran out of things. I ran out of options for advertising the gym. So I would try to do all forms. I'd go talk to people. I made postcards. My brothers and I drove around in my truck. They were in the back. And I just had a whole bunch of postcards in bags with little rocks in them. And we'd throw that onto people's driveways. And I had thousands that I got. This sweet deal, thousands of postcards I had thrown all over the neighborhoods. And I only got 2 phone calls from that. And both the phone calls were people pissed off because I littered on their front lawn. And so stuff like that just didn't work. And I went and talked to as many people as I could. I went to talk to high school coaches. I went to talk to people who had said before I opened the gym, "Oh man, sign me up. You're opening a gym. I'm first member." And so I kind of went back like, "Hey, the gym's open." Well, none of them wanted to follow through with it. So I had exhausted all forms of marketing and advertising for the gym. And I just didn't know how to grow the gym, how to get more members. And so I would start every morning. I'd write down 3 things that I was going to do today that would better me in some way, right? Better the gym. And on one of those days, it was I had wrote that I'm going to make an instructional video because I had a lot of downtime. I only did a couple of classes a day, group classes. That's how I started out. I didn't have like personal training clients or anything like that. So I just had a lot of downtime during the day. And I thought I'll make these instructional videos as if I was teaching someone, as if I had an hour to teach someone everything I know about squat, bench, deadlift, overhead press. Those are my first 4 videos. And so just in my brain, I thought this is how I'm going to make the video. There were a couple videos online, YouTube videos that I found looking around like how to squat, but it would be just someone in a warehouse or in a gym. There's no microphone. It's just someone standing far away. It's hard to hear. It's just one long take. And so I thought I could clean this up and maybe just pre-record it on my camera, use that audio, and then record all the clips I'm talking about. If I'm talking about my feet, I'm going to put the camera on my feet. Right. If I'm talking about my back, so I just thought about the B-roll that way. And that's just how I created the first video. So I made the squat, bench, deadlift, and overhead press. and it was the how to squat video that really went viral. It actually ended up, it was shared on Reddit and ended up on the front page of Reddit. And so I'll remember it was on the 4th of July because I was at a 4th of July party. I was outside swimming. I'd come in and my phone was too hot. So I had to bring it back in and let it cool down. Once it cooled down, I turned it back on and it was loading. And at the time I had my email notifications set to alert me anytime there's a notification. If someone subscribes to your YouTube channel or comments on it, you get an email.
Right.
I don't have that anymore, but at the time I did. So my phone's loading. And then all of a sudden it makes the email alert noise. And my little email icon at the bottom, it was like 5,000 notifications.
Yeah.
And so I went and opened it and it was all just scrolling of subscribers. So-and-so subscribe. And honestly, my first thought was, oh shit. Like I thought I did something wrong or I was exposed. Like what did I promise someone something? I was like, kind of felt weird about it. Anyways, kind of did some digging, saw that the video had a lot of views. And so that was the first. I'll end it there. But the last thing I'll say about that is after I made the squat, bench, deadlift, overhead press, I'm pretty sure the squat video was last out of those 4. And so once I got all that, I'm like, I felt like I owed everyone something. I was like, I just made the 4 videos. Like, what are you subscribing for? Like, I don't know what else to make, you know?
Right.
And I felt like I've got all these subscribers. I don't know what I'm going to do now. Like what videos I'm going to make now. So it was kind of a weird feeling, but that's how the YouTube channel came about.
Got it. Yeah, it's always interesting to me how it seems like it kind of just takes that one kind of spark moment to just kind of ignite the fire when it comes to just getting that audience started. Like with anyone who's built a big audience, it seems like there was kind of a catalyzing event that kind of skyrocketed them forward, got the spark lit, and then they were able to take off from there. Like when I was talking with Brian Olseru, you were kind of his catalyzing spark, right? Because I think you had featured him on your channel, then he got flooded with subscribers. I had a similar catalyzing moment on Instagram. I did a collaboration reel with a guy who ended up blowing up big time. And then all of a sudden I got 10,000 followers and tons of DMs and inquiries and all that. And then it's a matter of, all right, you get the spark lit. Well, now you got to do something with it, right? And I'm sure that's like to your point, kind of like an oh shit moment. Like you're not seeing that coming, you're not expecting it. You got all these subscribers, and then all of a sudden it's like, now what do I do? Because I mean, you basically just did it to get some momentum for advertising for the gym, right?
Yeah, I wasn't checking the video the next day, like how many views does this have? Because my videos were hardly getting any views, so it wasn't like, oh, this video did really well. This video, it was just. I was just posting them.
So at that,
that's kind of how it went.
At that 4th of July party, you see all these subscribers. Was your instinct like, oh shit, I got to go film another video? Or what was your next move from there?
Yeah, I don't know what I could actually, maybe I could go look back at that video and then see what I've posted next. But I think, I don't remember exactly what I thought like my game plan was.
Yeah.
But I just remember, obviously looking at the trend of the channel, I thought, well, I could do a lot of things. Like I can make a video about just some added bonus points on like whatever the difference between high bar and low bar, or the bar placement on your back, or wrist pain when you squat. It's just endless, like I could make so many different things. And so I kind of went that route. And I definitely did I definitely put strongman in there too, but the strongman was not nearly as accessible. It still isn't as accessible as like the need for barbell training content or strength training content is much higher than strongman specific content.
Right. And I think you kind of came onto the scene at probably a pretty good time, because that's right around when raw powerlifting was kind of coming into vogue, because you had, the Stan Efferdings and the Dan Greens kind of taken off around that time, and the geared powerlifting was kind of getting phased out. And then you had the Mark Bells starting to bring kind of the jacked raw lifters to the forefront. So I'm sure around the time you started putting out those videos, there was kind of a hunger for that sort of thing, and it wasn't yet a saturated YouTube world with people putting out that content. Like, when I going back to Brian Alsruh and Joey Zatmary, when those guys kind of came on the scene, both of them cited you as a guy who was kind of already doing it big. But to your point, what you just said, there wasn't really anyone else doing it before you. Like there wasn't really anyone putting out good quality educational content on lifting. So were you kind of one of the first ones to get that ball rolling?
I mean, I think I was maybe the first one to have that style of how-to videos.
Yeah.
But no, Johnny Candido was making videos before I was, powerlifting videos that I would watch. Omar Isuf had not really powerlifting specific, but a lot of like fitness and still strength training. But Omar Isuf had videos that I would watch beforehand. And then I would watch, and there was no how-to instructional videos, but I would watch Joe DeFranco, Zach Evanesh, and I'd watch those guys also.
Right.
And then Elliot Hulse, I think, was my biggest influence. And he would just have like 20-minute videos just kind of rambling, especially when he talked about his Yo Elliott phase.
Yeah.
But there was still like some instruction, he might have tips for a better squat or something like that, but it wasn't like B-rolled out and like mapped out or written out or scripted out like mine were. So I guess that, but to your point, I 100% agree that, or admit that the boom in my YouTube channel was mainly off of timing. If I tried to start that, do everything the same right now, I'd just be like washed out, who knows who would stick with it. But yeah, it was like, there wasn't a ton of content like that at the time. And so that's why it was like, wow, this is like this is almost like a free personal trainer, a free coach, but there's free information all over now. So yeah, maybe that was the most helpful. And I should give credit where credit is due. When people watch, when people say that when I watched your how to squat video or how to deadlift video, oh man, it blew my mind. I didn't know there was so much to this. It was like, it just made so much sense. It just clicked. And I felt like I could take this with me and it's really going to boost my progress immediately. That's how I felt when I read Starting Strength. When I was in the Marine Corps, when I got hooked on lifting and trying to gain weight and bulk up and programming, I was limited. I didn't have a smartphone. The only internet access I had was I could go to the computer lab, which had really, really slow, like dial-up internet. And I could look at, maybe a couple things for a limited time. Like you had like 30 minutes on the computer lab and you had to go. But I remember I thought, I want some books on strength training. And so I went and found Amazon, and this would have been like 2009 or 10. And I just typed in like barbell training or something like that, and Starting Strength came up. So I was like, oh, this looks cool. Didn't know who Mark Ripito was. I just said, this looks good. So I purchased that book, read it, and yeah, I'm like, oh my God, this is like the Bible, man. This is crazy. I can't believe like people don't know about this. And so a lot of the first 4 videos was inspired by everything I learned from Starting Strength. I might have just packaged it differently, but yeah, it wasn't like I pulled that from like thin air. It was like, this is how I think of it in my brain because of, this book that I've read. So,
well, I think that's kind of the unique thing that you offered was the way that you were packaging it. It was good information that you're putting out, but you brought a certain entertainment value to it. The way you're editing the videos, the way you speak, it's very digestible. It's very viewer friendly. And like you've got just a catchy way of speaking, and the way you cut up all your videos, people weren't doing that at the time. And even if there were a few guys out there like the Elliot Hulses and of course the Mark Ripitos and Omar Isuf's, Candidos, I think you probably brought a fresher packaging of all that information that was really able to help kind of catapult you forward. Because I mean, with YouTube, it's not enough just to have great inside information. Like you've got to have entertainment value, right? You've got to have content that people enjoy digesting and watching. And I think that's probably one of your innate talents. Were you always kind of gifted as a speaker, as a presenter in front of a camera? Did that come natural, or was that something you had to kind of develop baptism by fire once you got a bunch of subscribers going?
So the creative part of it has always been there. Even in high school when I had some project where I had to create something, I always loved to create it. Or like I remember in high school Spanish class, we had to make it was like a skit that we had to make. We had to record on these cameras that were like lent out to us. So he was like, your team has 1 week. Anyways, just stuff like that. I love like writing scripts and trying to be funny and goofy. And I just love like the acting part of it. So that's always been there. And even, I don't like draw very much anymore, but I used to draw quite a bit more. And I just like drawing these weird scenes, or in class in high school, I would always doodle just characters or faces or some other goofy looking people. And, some of my teachers had talked to me like, what, you got to stop doing this. Like you're putting all over this work. There was actually one, I used to like drawing, just like big, fat, hairy, shirtless, like sloppy dude. I don't know why. I just like draw these funny looking characters, kind of like a goofy looking like Simpsons character or something. Yeah. And one of my history teachers was like, he's like, Alan, do we need to have a talk about something? What is your obsession with these characters? And I was like, I'll stop doing it. But so the creative part's always been there. The public speaking, no, not so much. If you watch some of my very first videos, and sometimes I do because I have to go get clips. If I'm doing like some throwback or something, I'll go back. Yeah. And I used to almost talk with my teeth together.
Right.
I was just like very, very monotone, and I didn't open my mouth very much. And I'm convinced that that's from just getting out of the Marine Corps. Yeah. Because yes, when I'm in the Marine Corps, like yes, in training you have to scream and yell at the top of your lungs. But when I was in the Marine Corps towards the end, it's very much like I was pent up, and that's part of the reason why I wanted to call this untamed strength. But I was so sick of the Marine Corps, I was ready to get out. I was tired of being told what to do. I was tired of saying yes sir, no sir, and respecting these guys that were above me just simply because they've been in longer than me, like because they're higher ranking than me. Didn't have any respect for them. They were turds, but it was just like, yes, sir, no, sir. I just like kept to myself a lot. And I didn't have, when I got out of the Marine Corps, there was only one dude in my section that I really got along with. I didn't like the other guys. And so it was just a lot of like keeping to myself, keeping my mouth shut. And so when I would go talk, even when I had these group classes, it was hard for me to like project my voice and be loud and give people, tell people what to do. So that took some time. And also, it still happens to this day, but those videos, I probably rehearsed. A lot of it was scripted, so I was able to like read it. Yeah. But anytime I was doing a scene, a segment that wasn't scripted, it would be something as simple as, "Hi, my name's Alan Thrall, and the sky is blue," and I'd be like, "Record." "Hi, my name's Blue, and the sky is Alan Thrall." Shit. And I'd like record it again. "Hi, my name." What? Why is this so hard? Like I just freeze like every time I hit record. And I would do like 5 retakes of every clip. It took forever to record a video. So it might look like, wow, he's really punctual. He's really like it flows, really well, but it's all chopped up that I had to retake. So no, it did not come natural.
It's arguably almost harder just talking to a camera than it is talking to a group of people. Like if you're talking to a group, you can kind of feed off of the energy of the people. Yes. Where you're just talking to a tripod in front of you, it's a whole different kind of awkward pressure. And I do a lot of it because, my Instagram, I'll do a lot of talking head videos, talking nutrition, philosophy, or whatever. And I can't tell you how many times I'll sit in front of my tripod and do like 50 takes of just the same 60-second clip, but I have to restart it because I have an or a stumble over a word, something like that. I'm like, I want to nail this thing perfect. The amount of times I'm just driving down the highway, just out loud rehearsing to myself some 30-second clip I'm going to post, or rehearsing, the sponsor intro to the podcast. So I've said it like 100 times before I get to the studio. So then it flows out. But yeah, no, it's something that takes a lot of practice. And I mean, I can relate to you feeling, institutionalized coming out of the Marine Corps. I mean, you were a peacock, man. You had to fly. And that's kind of why I got out of football. Now, I'm not going to compare my experience working in football strength and conditioning to being in the Marine Corps. And I had a wonderful experience. I loved a lot of the guys I worked with. But just the rigid politics, the hierarchy, the rules, the constraints of working in that setting, man, I wanted to get out. I wanted to say what I wanted to say. I wanted to be my own guy, build my own brand, put my own stuff out there. So it was very liberating, as I'm sure it was for you, leaving the institutionalized setting and just getting to be your own guy.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's on point. And it probably was. There probably were a lot of similarities, with the Marine Corps or just the military and what you were doing. Very structured. There is a hierarchy. You have to know your place. So yeah, breaking free from that is really nice. So I get it.
Well, I do want to just touch on the gym ownership part, because just for my own knowledge, I'm curious to pick your brain and other gym owners, because when I got out of football, my initial thought was I'm going to open a facility, right? But now I've gotten so much, into the podcast, and I do tons of remote nutrition coaching, and I'm like looking at the actual logistics of gym ownership, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't know if I really want to do that. I don't know where to begin. I've spent the last decade learning how to be a coach, X's and O's of programming and nutrition and, recruiting and public speaking and all that. I don't know anything about business. I don't know about hiring employees and overhead costs and repairs and leasing a space, all that. Did you have a vision during your time in the Marine Corps? Like, hey, I want to open a gym, or was it kind of, you got out, you didn't know what to do, and that's what you fell into?
No, it was absolutely a vision. It was not a good vision. I didn't have any sort of plan or business model. It was just, I know I want to open a gym. A lot of it was, I went into the Marine Corps because I wanted to be told what to do. I was just kind of lost in life, not going anywhere. And I was like, it was a couple years after high school. I really loved being in high school because it was easy. Like, go to class at this time, do your homework, football this time, be here for weights. This is the play that I'm going to call. You do it the best of your ability. I really love that. I love that structure. When I got out, and it was like I was going to community college, but I'm like, if I don't go to class, like, who cares? If I fail this class, who cares? It's not like my football coach is gonna be like, why are you failing? I was just like, this is going nowhere. So anyways, I thought there's more reasons than that, but that was one of the reasons why I want to join the Marine Corps. Tell me what to do. I'll do it to my best ability, and I'll do it better than everyone else. And so I liked that direction of being told what to do. About 2 years in, I realized I'm sick and tired of being told what to do. I want to do my own thing. Yeah. And I'll be honest, Elliot Hulse, what he was preaching, back in like 2010 was really speaking to me. And some of the other books that I had read at the time about kind of like self-help books, Man's Search for Meaning, like reading these kind of books and what Elliot Hulse was saying, like, spend your life doing what you want to do, sort of thing. And that was really appealing, especially being in the Marine Corps. And so I was just at the point where I was just done with being told what to do. Yes, sir, no, sir, respecting these people I didn't like, associating these people, having to be like a team of these people I didn't like. And so I wanted to do my own thing, wanted to be on my own. Anyways, I had to ask myself, like, what do you want to do when you get out? And seeing what Elliot Hulse did with his, strength camp warehouse gym, I was like, I want to do that. I want to open a warehouse gym. That was like the thing that I was so attached to, that name. I want a warehouse gym. My first gym tour is the video is Untamed Strength Warehouse Gym Tour. Like, that was like my way of branding myself. I was like, I'm a warehouse gym. And so I knew I wanted to do that. And I was obsessed with lifting. That's all I cared about. That's all I thought about. That's all I wanted to do. And I just said, I want to, teach other people this same thing. So I want to open my own gym. That was pretty much it. That's what I knew I wanted to. I didn't really know square footage. I didn't know about getting a business license. I didn't know about how to lease a building. I knew I was starting very, very small. I was like, I'm just going to buy this little bit of equipment. I'm not getting employees. I'm not going to have to worry about, I'm not getting any business partners. I'm not getting business loans. I'm just going to start from scratch. It's pretty much like a garage gym that's not in my garage. I'm just going to start my own thing. And that was all that I really knew. And on that, there were a lot of people, the guys that I was with, that I was serving with towards the end of my contract in the Marine Corps. I didn't like them all that much at the time. I'm sure they're probably good dudes now. But at the time they would, I'm not trying to be like, get pity here, but they would like tease me a lot.
Yeah.
And they would tease this idea. So I was the smallest of the body bearers. That's who I was with. The body bearers. We did funerals at Arlington Cemetery. These were enormous dudes that were all on steroids, except for one that I know of. Strong as hell. My thing was squats and cleans. I would do that all the time, and I could out squat them. I could out clean them.
Guys, thank you for tuning in and supporting the podcast. I just wanted to take a minute to give a shout out over to my guys at Troponin Supplements. So they're the sponsor of the podcast, and in my opinion, they carry the best supplements on the market, and it's not even close. And they're the one company that I've wanted to align myself with. As a nutrition coach working with NFL football players, other professional athletes, strongman competitors, bodybuilders, powerlifters, fitness enthusiasts, endurance athletes, I have to be very particular about any supplement company I endorse. And with Troponin Supplements, frankly, it was a no-brainer. These are the products I've been using myself for the last few years before I ever became involved with the company. I know the owner personally, Justin Harris. He is one of the brilliant minds in the bodybuilding industry, and we've talked, and all he has wanted to do is just bring some of the elite top-of-the-line products to the market, and that's what he's done. So these are the products I recommend and endorse to all my athletes, all my clients. I use myself, and I want to pass this along to you guys as well. So I'm going to highlight a couple products here. First and foremost, we've got the ATP. This is a high dose of caffeine paired with a very powerful nootropic. I take this before work. I take this before I podcast. This is going to give you a great boost in mood, in focus, memory enhancement. You're just going to feel like you took the Limitless pill when you use ATP. It's an effervescent tablet. You drop it in your water, it dissolves, tastes great. The next product, Field Rations. This is the premier intra-workout supplement on the market right now. It's a one-stop shop for all your intra-workout needs. It's based in highly branched cyclic dextrin, contains essential amino acids, electrolytes, tastes amazing. I use this within every training session. Then we've got the Suppressor Max. This is awesome for controlling your blood sugar. It's got a high dose of berberine, but then has complementary ingredients that are going to keep the berberine bioavailable and stay in your system longer. This is the best blood sugar product on the market. If you're bulking, if you're eating a ton of food, if you're using a cheat meal, this is a great product for you. And then finally, I love this one. I've always had sleep issues. Hit the Rack. This is one of the best sleep products I've ever tried. I use it about 30 minutes before bed most nights, and this has been the one supplement that has actually helped me fall asleep and stay asleep. And then of course, we got the Troponin T logo bodybuilding jersey and the hat. We've got great apparel on the site. So guys, check out Troponin Supplements. You can find the link in the show notes, in the bio, or you can simply just Google Troponin Supplements. Use code HECK, capital HECK, at checkout for a discount. Check them out, guys. These are some of the best products on the market.
They would outbench me. They would outcurl me, all of that. Huge arms, skinny legs. I had huge legs, skinny arms. And so, it was just kind of like, well, Thrall, you're going to open a gym kind of thing. And they would ask me a bunch of questions trying to stump me. And they would, because I didn't know the answer. But I just got so tired of like trying to tell people what I was doing that I was like, I'm just going to show you, or I'm just going to show whoever wants to watch. I can't tell you exactly how I'm going to do it. I just know I'm going to do it. Like questions like, what do you, like sometimes it was a joke, like, what are you guys just going to squat every day? Like, you really think like, okay, Thrall, I come into your gym. You really think I'm going to listen to you about how to bench? If I tell you I want to bench you, I'm going to listen to you, and it's just, what do you say to that? I'm just like, another thing, just shut my mouth and just ignore it. And then I remember one time, this one guy was like, he's like, how you gonna accept money? How much you gonna charge? And I'm like, I don't know how much I'm gonna charge yet. How you gonna accept that money? What do you just accept cash, credit card? Like, little logistic stuff that I don't know yet. You really think someone's gonna trust you, a stranger, with their credit card information? Just shit like that. And I'm just like, I don't know, dude. It just drove me crazy. I'm like, I'll just figure it out. So to go back to the question, no, I didn't have much of a plan. When I got out, I was renting a room from a friend of mine who was actually a commercial real estate agent. And so I was like, hey, John, I need a spot. Can we go look at some spots? So we went around, and it's pretty much just like, I just need a small spot that's affordable. Like it just needs to be tiny, like a big garage. That's it. So yeah, like if I was like, okay, I want to make a gym. I want it to sell itself. A huge gym. I want all this equipment. I need employees to run it because I can't be there all the time. I need some personal trainers to bring in clients. Starting with all this, I never ever wanted to do that or even knew how to do any of that. All I knew was, okay, I can figure out how to get a business license. I can just Google that. I can figure out what I can afford monthly. I know how to do the training part of it. I'll just kind of figure it out as I go. I know the bare bones equipment that I need to put in the gym, but that's it. So that's all I really knew going into it.
12 years later, here you are. Are you still in the same location that you opened up with?
No. So I was I'm right in the same area, but I was in one location. The original location was about 1,000 square feet, but the usable space was far less than that because there was a office and there was a huge bathroom. And then there was a big area of the gym that was really low ceilings, so you couldn't do anything. It was just kind of storage. So maybe like 500-ish square feet. I was there for 2 years. Then I went just down the street. I found a spot that was about 2,000 square feet, but that also had a huge office. And then it had a overhead like wooden loft that was counted in that space, that square footage. And so usable space, I don't know, maybe like 1,000 to maybe 1,500. I was only there for a year. Thankfully, I was able to get out of that lease because I just had issues with the landlord.
Yeah.
Found the spot that I'm at now in 2016. And then 3 years later in 2019, the spot next door became available. So I took that place, cut a hole in the wall. We pushed over. And then 2022, a spot on the other side opened up, cut a hole in that. So now it's 3 spaces, 3 rooms that are all connected.
Got it. Well, man, it sounds like going into this whole thing, you had a hell of a chip on your shoulder just from everyone doubting you, questioning you. And then, I mean, you just go into this thing totally self-made, self-taught. I mean, when you're spending that initial period, you're out there just throwing flyers into people's yards, you're just scratching and clawing to get members. Was there ever a point like, fuck, those guys were right type of thing, where you doubted yourself? Or did you have belief in yourself from the get-go?
I knew that if I just kept grinding away, I know that sounds cliche, but if I just kept at it, something would pick up. If I put everything I have into it, I got to get something back. And it was never that I want to make $1 million or I want my product to be in Walmart. It was just like, I just need to get enough to get by. Like at first it was just, I need to make enough money to actually pay rent and let this thing run on itself. Very, very low bar was that I set for myself. And so that was pretty much it. Like I didn't have a plan B. I never said like, well, shoot, if this doesn't work, what am I going to do? It was like, I'm going to go all in with this, literally like just everything I have. And if it flops and it fails, like after my lease is up and I can't do anything, I have 0 members. Okay, I can go get a job. But at least I can know that I did everything I could to do it. And I was in a position at that time where I could go all in. I was, so just out of the Marine Corps, young 20s. I had a girlfriend who's my wife now, but I wasn't married. I was renting an apartment, which was cheap. I was actually renting a room for my brother, which was dirt cheap.
Yeah.
Didn't have a mortgage payment, didn't have kids, didn't have any of this stuff. Didn't have loans, didn't have credit card debt. It was nothing. And I was willing to spend every penny I had, which I pretty much did. Every penny I had to do this, I was going to spend every hour of my day to do this, all of my time, all of my energy. I would sleep in my truck. My truck broke at one point, needed to be fixed. I was riding my bike to the gym. Like I didn't care. I would sleep in the gym if I needed to. It didn't matter to me. I was willing to give everything I had. The only thing I wouldn't have given up would be my health. If it was like, hey,
right,
you can make this work, but you got to be in a wheelchair or something like that, I'd be like, no. But money, time, energy, all of it was fine. And when you're 24 years old, that's, easy to give all that energy towards. If I was to wipe it all away right now and today I wanted to start my own gym, and I had to ask myself, are you willing to go that far now? Hell no.
Right.
Am I willing to lose my house? No. Am I willing to get my kids to eat top ramen every night and like struggle just because I want this dream? No, absolutely not. I'd rather just go get a normal job. So I was in a good position to go all in with it. And honestly, like when people ask me, hey, I'm thinking about starting a gym, is it worth it? First off, every gym is a little bit different. It just depends on how you structure it. But like, I can only give you my experience, and I had to ask myself, like, are you willing to give everything you have? And I was. And if you aren't, then I don't know, maybe not. If you have a lot to lose, which is fine. If you have a lot to lose, maybe you shouldn't go all in with opening a gym.
Yeah. And man, I feel like that's just the way you approached it, that work ethic, that willing to grind. It's just something that feels like we're losing it more and more in today's day and age. It's such like an instant gratification world we live in now. And like, that's part of what pushed me away from football was like the transfer portal. Like guys, if they're not immediately a starter, they're just going to transfer to the other school. No one's willing to sit on the bench and work and grind and just go through the adversity on the front end to reap the rewards on the back end that they earn. So, I mean, it's refreshing to hear a guy like you who, man, you just spent your early 20s grinding, broke, just willing to put in the work with no instant gratification coming back your way, and it pays off for you, man. So I wish there was more of that going on in today's world. But
yeah,
okay, so
when you mentioned that, I think that I think that part of that is I really didn't have any distractions. There wasn't social media. Yeah, there was some YouTube, but I wasn't looking around at what everyone else is doing. I was just in my own world. I didn't even have Instagram until one of the ladies at the gym was like, "Oh, let's make you an Instagram," and she made it for me. But at that time, it was like you just post like highly edited, filtered photos of like something. But yeah, so I think not being distracted was nice too.
Yeah, for sure. So, and then, okay, you put up a few YouTube videos and some of them catch fire. Was that a big catalyzing moment, not just for the YouTube success, but for the gym membership? Suddenly, did you have a little bit of a membership pickup?
Not really. So to be honest, not really. There was a point in time when the YouTube channel, maybe like a little less than a year after these how-to videos got popular, there was a period of time where the YouTube video was way bigger. The YouTube channel was way bigger than the gym was.
Yeah.
There were people that would travel from across the world, dude, to go train in Untamed Strength. This was the first location that was like, I had a couple squat racks, barbells, some old tires, some Atlas stones I made in my backyard, like these cheap little benches that like you could buy at like Target, like just cheap stuff. And people would travel just to go to this gym because they had seen like, oh, it's, they watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
I remember the first guy who came, his name was Vivian. He's from France. He came, he stayed down the street from the gym. It's not like a great area. He stayed down the street and he just trained with me for a week. And it's so crazy to think that you come all the way to California from France and you want to hang out on Auburn Boulevard in like the outskirts of Sacramento to go to this little gym. And he never said anything, but other people would do that as well. They would come over and they'd travel and they'd stop by. Mikkel was another one. But they'd walk in. I just feel like, this is it. Like, I don't know. This is what you came for. It's not that, like people travel to go like see the Golden Gate Bridge or to see Yosemite or like see Los Angeles or Hollywood, like, and you're here at Untamed Strength. Like it was, but yeah, the membership didn't really pick up. But online it was getting more and more popular. And there wasn't immediate monetization from that. Like I didn't have ads on my videos. I wasn't selling anything. So anyways, but I would say the thing that finally started to uptick my membership was when I hosted my first strongman competition. So at that time I was competing in strongman shows and I thought, why don't I host one of these at my gym? My girlfriend at the time had that idea. And at first there was a little bit of like, I don't know how to host a show, but I was like, I didn't know how to open a gym either. I guess we'll figure it out. And so I hosted my first show, which was a huge success. Tons of people signed up for it. It was a pretty crappy show just because I didn't really know all of the logistics of like running a show. But yeah, there were people there. They were like talking to me. They're like, is this like a gym, or is this just, you're just doing a competition here? I'm like, yeah, this is a gym. This has been here for like a year. And they're like, wow, I live right across the street. And I'm like, come work out. Don't even sign up for a membership. Just come in here and work out. And so I started doing free strongman Saturdays, and those would get busier and busier. And that was like the biggest thing that I say would kind of catapulted membership was strongman and hosting my first competition. One thing on that, when I first opened the gym, I didn't want to turn anyone away. So like my business cards were like untamed strength, powerlifting, strongman, Olympic weightlifting, athletic training, friggin' calisthenics. It's just just a keyword I could put on there. And it wasn't really any of those things. I was just like, I just want anyone and everyone to come here. But after membership started to grow from strongman, then I was like, all right, I need to run with this. Like, this is Untamed Strength is Sacramento's only strongman gym. There was like there were some CrossFit gyms around that would have like maybe a 90-pound Atlas stone or maybe a sled. But I was the only one with actual equipment. And so I was like, all right, this is not a very good powerlifting gym, not a good weightlifting gym, but this is a hell of a strongman gym. So I'm going to run with that. And I would say that actually finding my target audience and getting people like, because they'd ask me like, oh, you have a gym? A lot of times they'd say, you have a gym? Oh, do you have a pool? I'm like, no. Or they'd say like sauna, steam room. I'm like, no, it's not like that. Like, I don't have that. It's just a small little gym. Do you have this? Do you have that? And I'd always just say no. But when I just tell people like, yo, you own a gym? What is it? Oh, it's a strongman gym. I'm like, what's that? And I could tell them exactly what strongman is. And I'm like, I have all this stuff. And so now it sounds like this is a fully equipped strongman gym rather than this like really like mediocre commercial gym is pretty much what I was competing with.
Well, I think anyone, if you're looking to go to a strongman gym, I think that demographic of people, they kind of want the old school dungeon vibe. They want the cult. Like, you don't go to a strongman gym for the amenities and right. Steam rooms and saunas. Like, you go there to be around some badass, like-minded dudes who there's a great culture there. So it makes a lot of sense to have kind of niched down. Okay, you're not going to compete with the Lifetime Fitnesses and the O2s trying to market yourself as just this like general commercial gym, one size fits all type of thing. But okay, you're a strongman gym. All right, that's a unique thing. Now you've got a target audience and you're not competing in this saturated market. And I guess intuitively, I would have thought that the YouTube success would have really kind of catalyzed things. But then you think about it, it's like, well, just because you gain 100,000 subscribers on YouTube doesn't mean any of those are local people who can attend your gym necessarily. So when you started getting that success on YouTube, at what point did you start to kind of really go all in on YouTube? At what point did you start viewing yourself as a YouTuber as opposed to just using YouTube as a tool to maybe attract members or show off the gym or just, put out training content? At what point did you really realize like, oh, I can have success as a YouTuber?
Yeah, I've always said that I am a gym owner first, the YouTuber second. So I never thought like I should really go all in with this YouTube stuff. But there was definitely a time when, I had more time and a lot more ideas I'm just going to keep pumping out content. And part of that is like, I have to, because I'm a YouTuber. I got to post a video every week. I got to post 2 videos every week. And so I was just always making these videos. And I didn't really have a shortage of ideas. I do now, but at that time I was just like, I could just keep making videos nonstop. And it has always been and still is about the gym. So any money, once I finally did start getting the channel monetized, once I did start selling a couple programs, selling some t-shirts, all of that, just if I made any money at all, I just made $1,000 online. it was never ever like, oh, this is beer money. It was like,
right.
damn, now we could buy a new reverse hyper, or like we need whatever, we need new barbells. I'm just going to pump these videos out for the next month, get a check from YouTube. I'm going to buy 2 new barbells. It's always went back into the gym. And I should say that I didn't want it to sound like the YouTube had no carryover to gym membership. It did not at first. But even now to this day, YouTube helps more than anything with SEO or search engine optimization.
Right.
When anyone in the area is Googling barbell training, strongman, powerlifting, strength training coach, something, Untamed Strength always pops up to the top. And it's just because of the YouTube channel and my website being on the, my business website being on the YouTube channel, interlinked. So like Untamed Strength is the first thing that pops up in the area if you type in anything related to Untamed Strength. So people find it that way. There's not a ton of people, it's not like people are walking in like, sometimes it happens, but not people walking in like, yeah, just been watching a YouTube channel, decided to sign up. It's usually like, hey, I was looking for a place, I Googled something, and then I this popped up, so now I'm here. So it's really, really helped in that sense. But also, yeah, it's been another stream of revenue for me.
Right.
The YouTube monetization, again, selling programs and things like that. So that's definitely helped. And what it's helped is it has helped me put more money back into the gym, which has made the gym bigger and better. If I was still like in the first location with that little bit of equipment, and I was just kind of putting all this money into savings and not doing anything with it, there still would be just a fraction of members because it wasn't that great of a gym. But what it is now with all the different equipment in the gym, I've just been able to grow it. And in a sense, it sells itself. So someone who comes in, even if they're not interested in strongman, they just look around and like, damn, this is perfect. This is exactly what I need. There's a lot of people who come to Untamed because they like barbell training. Never even heard of Alan Thrall. They just like barbell training, and they're sick and tired of their gym only having 2 barbells or 2 squat racks. So they're like, hey, how many squat racks do you have? And I'm like, I got 27 squat racks. And they're like, sign me up. So to have that gym that sells itself makes my job much easier now.
And I just saw you post on Instagram, I think today, it was like just showing all the squat racks you had. Hey, we have a place for everyone to squat. And to me, I was like, God, I wish I could go to that gym, because I can't tell you how many times I go to a public gym so stressed out, like worried, like, am I going to have a squat rack available? I've got a plan. I've got a training program I'm following. I don't want to get there and have to wait for some dumbass to finish curling in one of 3 squat racks they have. So like seeing the gym that you have over at Untamed, I'm like, God, I wish I lived in Sacramento. It's a badass looking spot. But it's cool to hear. It's cool to hear that, at the end of the day, you resonate as a gym owner and I'm sure, as a lifter, at least years ago, before being a YouTuber. And I think that sincerity and just kind of being true to who you are really helps facilitate the YouTube popularity, because at the end of the day, like people connect with genuine, right? And if you're a guy you're putting out a YouTube channel that's built around training and a gym and gym culture and all that, if you don't really have a love for that stuff, if you're just trying to be this YouTube sensation and go for the clicks and the views, like people are going to see through that. Whereas a guy like you, who's so clearly sincere about your love for training, about your passion for the iron game and your gym, I think that comes through to your audience and just probably helped grow the channel.
Yeah. Well, thank you. That means a lot. And, there is this, it feels good to put a bunch into YouTube, to get something out of it, to be able to buy new equipment or to expand the gym. And then all the members of the gym get excited about it.
Yeah.
And like to say thank you. It comes around full circle. So yeah,
for sure. Well, looking back on the YouTube career, man, what are some of your favorite videos that you put out there? Because you've got some classics out there.
The how-to videos, all of them, because I've redone the squat one a few times. I think 3 times. I've redone the deadlift one. Those ones are always the meat and potatoes, or the big pillars of the channel that I like the most.
Yeah.
But I would say my favorite video, I'm not sure what it was called, but it It was just a video of me making a weightlifting platform. And I think it's just my favorite video. It's me making a weightlifting platform, and I'm like painting a logo on it or a design on a Train and Tame design.
Yeah, I know the video.
Nice. Yeah. So that would be, I don't know, for some reason that video is like if I was to rewatch a video, I like that one. But yeah, there's been videos where it's like just little skits that I forget about and then I'll hear about, or sometimes people will repost on different accounts, like repost a skit from one of my videos, and I'll watch it because I'm like, I don't remember where this went or like what I was trying to, where this is from, so yeah, I don't know, I don't really have any favorite videos. I just enjoy most of it.
I love just like the skit components to your videos, and I wish more people did that sort of thing now. Like I feel it is, right? And I feel like during kind of your era, like there was a lot of that going on. Some of that just more entertainment value, skit stuff worked in it, like such classic content. I wish there were more people doing that sort of thing.
Yeah. Did you have some of it might be just Instagram and TikTok of like just short attention span. And I know not everyone's like that, but I think at the time it was like, I want to get someone to laugh. I want to get someone to stick around. I want to beef this video up. So instead of being 6 minutes, I can get it to like 10 minutes. And maybe now it's like, I just got to keep people's attention, get the point across and move on. Like that kind of might be how it's treated now.
Did you have any videos that you were like, oh, this is going to be awesome, this is going to hit, you put so much time and effort into it? Like, did you have any just flops that you thought were going to totally hit?
Yeah, but I don't know off the top of my head. I try not to get too attached to that stuff.
Yeah.
And there was a long time ago that I said I would set it and forget it. So I would post the video and then I would just say, I'm not even going to check on it for another week. Because you do get to, you check on it an hour later and like, how many views does it have in an hour? How many views does it have in 12 hours? How many views does it have a day later? And so, yeah, you just get hooked on it. And then same with the comments. Like I would just, there might be 100 comments and then just 2 turds that put some comment that like tag me in. It's just, you just always remember those 2 bad comments, or I feel like I have to respond to it when it could be just some punk teenager who knows nothing, but or they twist the words you said. And so, so this stuff would like stick in my head, and I'd like throughout the day, I'd be like having a conversation with this negative comment, like, no, that's not right. And so I'm like, all right, I'm done looking at comments. So I would try to just ignore it. But I will say there are, I do have some videos that were a flop. I couldn't name them off the top of my head, but they're what I call slow burners. So like I would check, after a week, and I'm like, oh yeah, that video did far worse than the other ones. But maybe I stumble upon it a year later and I'm like 250,000 views.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, like there's just something, whether it's just YouTube pumping it, or if there was maybe a new wave of power lifters wanting this information or something. But I'm like, okay. So there are videos that I'll check on like every couple of weeks, and I'm like, this video is still climbing. Whereas usually a video after like 2 days, how it did. But yeah, so some videos are like that. So it's really, really hard to predict. And I try to just focus on, I'm going to make a video that I want to make that I think is helpful and put it out there. So
that's one good thing about the long form stuff versus like the Instagram, TikTok-y stuff is the YouTube and podcasts age really well. Like, like I said, I was watching one of your videos that you posted 8 years ago. I just organically watched that a couple months back, and that was what initially gave me the idea, like, oh, I should hit up Alan Thrall and see if he wants to come on the podcast. But like, and same with podcasts. I mean, I'll scroll back, I'll find a new podcast I like, and I'll go back and listen to an episode they put out like 3 years ago because I see they had a cool guest on. So yeah, it is cool to have just kind of that library of content you've just built up over years, and people can go back and they're kind of timeless videos.
Yeah, there's something about like the social component of being in the here and now. So when you see a video that was posted today and it's like, oh, wow, this is new and fresh, I'm going to like it to add to the likes, or I'm going to look at comments to see what people are talking about. Whereas if you see a video that was like posted last month, especially on like Instagram. Sometimes they'll kick a post that was like 6 days, earlier. It's like, oh, this post is dead. This is gone. It was posted a week ago. Like, you want new, fresh stuff. And so I think people like commenting on stuff that's brand new. Some people do comment on old videos and stuff, but it's just like a YouTube video. If you see a YouTube video pop up and it was like 57 minutes ago, oh, nice.
Yeah,
but if
exactly.
it says like 5 years ago, oh, this video is dead. Yeah, this video is irrelevant. But it's cool that you were able to click on a video even though it was 8 years old.
Yeah. No, well, I mean, look, if the content's good, it's gonna stick around, I think. Well, do you have any advice for up and coming YouTubers? Like, you ask the kids these days, what do you want to do when you grow up? You get a lot of people saying, I want to be a YouTuber now. So, do you have any just kind of generic logistic type advice for someone who's getting started trying to grow a channel?
Yeah, I would say try to be unique in some way. And I think the best thing to do is try to be yourself. Don't try to just do what everyone else is doing, because there's so many people doing that already. Because I see a lot of YouTube channels or content that is it's the same recycled delivery information. It's just the same thing over and over. You have to have some type of spin on it. We all are individuals. We all have different past experiences. We all have slightly different opinions and views. So like, put that sort of spin on it. Don't try to just, walk a tightrope of like not being on either side. Be unique in some sort of way. And then you got to ask yourself, what information do I have to offer? And that kind of just goes along with being unique. What do I love talking about, or what do I know a lot about? And I think that would be most important, more than any like microphones and editing and all that kind of stuff. It's just be yourself, be unique in some way, and ask yourself, what do I have to offer that's a little bit different, or a little bit different take than whatever else is doing? And that's, I think, the best way to stand out.
Right. And, I think sometimes people forget, like, just because you've got, you're putting in the time, the effort, the consistency, you've got the cameras, all that, you still need some sort of expertise to stand on. Like, I think a lot of people, they're like, I want to be a YouTuber. Well, it's like, well, what do you have to offer? Like, what are you an expert on? You like, make sure you actually put in the time learning and gaining the knowledge and having something to provide to an audience. Like you, I mean, you're spending years reading Mark Ripito books. You were a student of the game of all things training. So when your moment came where you're starting to get some traction on YouTube, well, you've got something to talk about. You've got knowledge you've got valuable knowledge. And I think that's something people kind of forget today. It's like, nobody owes you views and their subscription to your channel if you don't have something genuine to offer. And like, you better stand out. You better be unique. It's a saturated market out there. So, but
the title should come before YouTuber. Like, I'm a kick-ass barbecuer, cooker. I know everything about gardening. Like, start there and then make the YouTube channel from that,
Exactly.
But it's doing it as like, I don't want to work a 9 to 5. I'd rather just work from home and make YouTube videos. Starting there is going to be hard. If you're like, all right, what should I make a YouTube video about? It's like, good luck.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm not going to keep you much longer, man. You've been generous with your time, but what's life look like for you these days? What's currently getting you up in the morning? What's life for Alan Thrall like?
The dad life.
Which
is relatable to other dads. If you're not a dad, it's just kind of like, before I was a dad, I didn't really understand any of that. But
I'm a new father myself. I've got an 8-month-old son at home.
Oh, great. Okay, nice. So yeah, definitely a dad life. Taking care of my kids, taking care of the gym, getting in training when I can. I would say, to stay somewhat on topic, training nowadays has really been about enjoyment, not so much having to stick to a program, just being somewhat flexible, doing what I can when I can. It doesn't mean I'm training less. If anything, I'm training more than I was years ago. It's just more frequent, probably a little less intensity, primarily for health and enjoyment is what I've been up to. But Yeah.
I hear you, man. Dad life, it changes things. It changes your perspective. It changes your priorities a little bit. How old are your kids?
6 and 3.
6 and 3. That's I hear that's a fun age. We're climbing our way out of the trenches with our 8-month-old. We're in the midst of a sleep regression right now, but he's crawling all over the place. We're putting up baby gates, but he's getting to a fun age.
Yeah, and it's cool that their stages change every single year. It's just a different kid around the house, and so you just get to learn and experience new things. It's cool to have the newborn phase. It's cool when they start walking. It's cool when they start talking or having a personality, like someone you can actually talk with. And then they get to the point when they're 6 and you can actually go do stuff with them. So yeah, it's cool. Cool process.
It's gonna be cool for your kids one day when they find out, when they find your YouTube channel. And that's going to be a kind of a benefit of all the YouTube videos you put in. Like your kids are going to be able to go back and see what dad was doing, 10, 20 years ago. It's just like kind of a time capsule.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, cool, man. Is the last question, is the beard possibly ever going to make a return?
I don't think so.
That's the different era.
Yeah. So the beard was, when I got out of the Marine Corps, I said, I want 3 things. I want a beard, a ponytail, and a gym. And that was it. And so I was so set on that. And it was so like ingrained in my identity. Sorry, I'm sitting here rambling on about my beard, but it was just so ingrained in my identity at the time. Like that's what I wanted. I wanted to look like that. And I didn't care what other people thought. And people would ask, are you ever going to shave the hair or shave the beard and cut the hair? And I thought, I don't know. If I do, I'm not going to do it unless I want to. And then once it finally slipped in my head, I said, I want to get rid of the beard. I was like, I'm going to give it about a month. And every single day it was like, yep, I want to get rid of it. Next day, yep, I want to get rid of it. So I wasn't making any quick decisions. And so after a month, I was like, yeah, I need to get rid of it. But honestly, it was because of my kids. Just like, hanging on my shoulders. They like to wrestle, just get ripped out. Same with the hair. And then I was teaching my son to swim in the pool, and I was like kind of underwater and like supporting him as he was swimming along, and he's throwing his hands, and it just got wrapped around my hair.
Oh, no.
Yanked a huge chunk out. And I was like, I'm so done with this hair and this beard. So yeah, maybe if I was a bachelor, I might still have it. But yeah. And then so people have asked like, dude, or they've said like, you got to get the beard back. And I'm like, I'm not going to do it unless I want to. So I don't know, maybe when I'm completely bald and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to grow some hair somewhere. I'll put it on my face. Maybe I'll grow it back, but I don't know. Never say never.
For anyone in the audience who's unfamiliar with Alan from a few years ago, and you're watching this and you're thinking, Alan does have a beard. He had a beard back in the day. So anyway, Alan, where can people find you and go see that magnificent beard of yours?
The Instagram is @UntamedStrength. YouTube channel, Untamed Strength, or Alan Thrall. The website, if you're in the Sacramento area, is trainuntamed.com.
Got it. Well, guys, go check out Untamed Strength if you're in the Sacramento area. Go follow him on Instagram. Check out the YouTube channel. And hell, scroll back. Look at some of those videos that were posted 7, 8, 9 years ago. There's some awesome content on there, some timeless classics from what I would consider a golden age of YouTube in the fitness industry. But anyway, Alan, I appreciate you coming on the podcast. I appreciate what you've done for our industry, frankly, for strength sports, for strongman, for gym culture in general. I think you've made a tremendous impact. You were certainly an impact on me dating back many years, and I know you've been an impact on many in my audience. So I appreciate all that you've done, man.
Well, thank you, man. That means a lot.
Absolutely. Well, guys, stay tuned for more episodes of the Hammer and Chisel Performance Podcast, guest episodes dropping every Tuesday. I've got a bunch of awesome ones coming out. You can find me, hammerchiselperformance.com, my coaching services, ebooks, training programs, or follow me on Instagram @whattheheck71. And anyway, guys, we will catch you on the next episode. Alan, I'll talk to you later, man.
Thank you.